So it's kind of nice on a double track main, the not too much interference with the north and south flowing traffic. Coming out of Shelby right now, you can see that there's our way freight that's making its way into Edmonton or towards Edmonton.
And as a model railroad operator, it's such a joy to have a meet with another train, another crew, and to wave hello as they pass by.
Yeah. Now is this, we're approaching this turnout here, is this into Edmonton Yard?
Here's the lead that would take you into Richmond, and we want to stay on the main, and that'll bring us right to the arrival departure tracks in Edmonton. Here, Chris, I see you've got your two main lines, and we're on the inside main right now, and when we reach Edmonton Yard, I'll throw the switch to bring us into the arrival departure track. We want to get on this track here, so we're then off the main line.
So typically when a train arrives in a yard, then the power is removed?
Typically, and then you'd have one of the yard engines take over the train and do the switching in the large yard. Sometimes you'll use your mainline engine to do operational switching, but at other times you'll have the switch crew from the yard. Here we have another meet with the coal drive. Lovely. And now I'm heading on to the arrival departure track here. I've got my bells on.
Being Christmas time and all, I guess that's appropriate.
It would be around this time of the year, for sure.
So arrival departure track is a nice feature to have in a big yard because you could have trains coming and going without interfering with the yard work.
That's right, and interfering with the mainline traffic as well. So it's an intermediary track between your classification tracks and your mainline tracks.
So I guess that switches sequence is pretty important there right at that area. So when either you can come off the main into the yard or the local yard switcher can access the cars on that particular track and do its classification work.
That's right, Chris. It's a track I always look for when I arrive at a layout.
Okay, so now you're in the yard, you're going to bring your train to a halt.
I'll throw that back to the main. I don't know if you got that or not.
Okay, that's good. So now you're ready to do some switching and yard work, and we got to take that locomotive and put it back to the locomotive facility.
Yep.
Okay, so here we are at the other end of the yard, and the locomotive on that arrival departure track now has to basically get back into the locomotive facility and leave the cars in the yard for the switching.
That's right, Chris. I've already uncoupled the locomotive and I've aligned my switches to get me out to the main, so I have to cross over the double main tracks to get over to that servicing facility there.
You're out on the main here, and you just want to occupy it temporarily for as short as possible, but you needed to come out here in order to clear the switch.
That's right, Chris. So we want to get off the main as quickly as we can. It's not to interfere with traffic. And we're going to be heading to the facility at Richmond Yard, part of Edmonton. Once I clear those tracks, I always have to make sure I set my switches back to the main. And I'll be doing that right now.
So you didn't really occupy it for too long there, and that's a good thing.
Just a short time.
So off it goes, and it'll go down into the Richmond locomotive facility.
That's right. You can see my engine coming down to the facility, so I want to park it to bed. I got to make sure I've aligned all my turnouts. And here she comes. She'll be going into Richmond Yard after doing a long job on that train. Crew will be happy to get home to their families.
So typically this would be your operation and somebody else would be doing the local switching, right?
That's right.
But, you know, for today's information sequence, we're going to get you to do a little of both for us, and
yeah, that'll be nice. Fun.
So now it's heading back towards the locomotive facility. That's down in the bowels, if you were, of the yard.
And I'll make sure all the tracks are lined here too for it. So I see we have a little bit of room in behind the sand cars on this track here, so I'll align my switches to make sure I can get in there. You hear the bell on because there's a lot of workers around the yard. This train is on the move. Slowing down to a very safe speed. And once we gain clearance from the switch, I'll be good to stop. Anywhere there is good.
So now that you've stopped your train and you're ready to depart, what are some of the things you're going to do before you head off and do some more work?
Well, I'll make sure the train's sanded. It's got enough sand for friction, and make sure it's got enough fuel in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get my work orders.
Yep. How about those headlights? Classic thing people forget about.
Yes, we'll have to put the headlights off there.
See, even some of our experienced guys forget some of the principles of operation. So when you're done with your train, one of the things you want to do is
turn the
headlights off. Now, in some layouts too, sound decoders, if you have a lot of them, obviously take power. In order to basically shut that off, you could hit the run stop at the bottom there of the big red button.
Right there.
Yep. That's good. And you have a tsunami decoder.
That's lovely.
It shuts down nicely.
That is lovely.
If you don't have that, then you just hit F8 and then the sound disappears right away.
Oh, good, Chris.